what is going on? We are back in black. We done made it back another week. Another day, another dollar, another 10 cents for us. Another $1.50 for the dominant white society. But that's neither here nor there. Roll call. Shout out to everybody out there in Arizona. Oh man, shout out to everybody in Vegas. Man, all my siblings in Vegas. Latanya in Arizona. Shout out to the homegirl Jerica. Shout out also to my sister Shawnee. Philly's definitely in the building. and my sis Erica, Florida, aka Florida's definitely in the building. Shout out to my brothers Dave for No Compromise, George in the building, and James Youngblood. Text in the building. Go check out Mike Drop. Follow him on Instagram. Mike Drop. Just look up Mike Drop. The Mike Drop. Look it up. Dave for No Compromise. Look up No Compromise. Go check these brothers out, man. They got very good platforms. Way more knowledge than what the hell I be talking about. I'm silly, but they got real shit on there. They ain't playing no games. So if you want to be spoon fed, then that's probably not the channel, because they gonna give it to you raw and uncut. For real, for real. So shout out to my brothers. Those are my OGs. That's where I get the game from. So shout out to them. And shout out to my homegirl Melina, all the way from North Carolina, aka North Kakalaka. Man. I'm trying not to laugh, y'all. The Blue Pill Milkshake. Let's get into it. Hey. The reason why I call it the Blue Pill Milkshake. Oh, God, man. Both parties, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, if you are not offering a check or repayment, I just don't really have shit to say. I think that a lot of the shit that Donald Trump says is very comical. And I believe the Democratic Party as a whole is very comical, because they're just running out of options. I watched a little bit, just a very tad bit of the DNC. Oh, horrible. And I don't even know why they always got Bill Clinton up there. Bill Clinton was in a picture with Jeffrey Epstein and a woman underage, but R. Kelly's locked up on RICO charges. I don't understand how that works. I just don't understand what's more important. You know, I just don't understand it. And for all my Democratic blue pill milkshake drinkers, if you're a black Christian, then I find it very odd and funny at the same time. Because if you're a black Christian and you believe in God and you believe in all this other stuff, how could you full-fledged support the Democratic Party when you could basically wake up and be whoever the fuck you want to be? So basically, if you want to be a he bitch, you can be a he bitch. And ain't nothing nobody can say. You could be like Rachel Dolezal and identify as white when you are black. That type of shit. And I just don't understand the nuances behind all of the theater that I see going on. You said why? You notice when you're dealing with Democrats or Republicans, nobody can basically give you their plan of what their plan is to help your racial group. And every time you start speaking on this, what ends up happening is they shun you and they basically put you in a corner and tell everybody, look at you, you're the bad person, you shouldn't think that way. And that's what they do. It seems like every time we want to ask for things specifically for us after what we have faced and what we have done, it's always this grandiose pushback, or you're crazy, or my ancestors, you know, they didn't own any slaves and we weren't even here, and all this other stuff. But you're here now, you're benefiting from the labor of black folk, foundational black Americans. And what I'm trying to get through this without laughing and joking, because I think it's so funny. What I don't understand above all is, if we're supposed to look at the policies and what people plan on doing, right, to make this economy better, why ain't nobody talking about the interest rates? Why ain't nobody talking about jobs specifically for foundational black people, since we built this country for free? Why is it every time we bring up reparations, people always want to, including docile, asleep black folk, talking about, oh, well, they should just give free education. Why is it never money? Why is it when it's the dominant white society, the Jewish community in particular, the white dominant Jewish community, what happened to him, what happened to that group was very atrocious, very disheartening, and that's just very hard to even talk about, because that just, that was just genocide, what had taken place against the white dominant society Jewish community. You don't want to see that type of course of action being taken on any racial group, period, right? So they went through that and they got repaid for that. And that was a suffering that is unbearable. But why is it when it's time to speak about foundational Black American suffrage, y'all want to give us free education, but when it comes time for the Chinamen or the Japanese or the white dominant society Jewish community, brothers and sisters, why is it they get checks but we get free education? That really means nothing. Why is that? Today is going to be the question of why. Do I believe a lot of people are drinking a blue pill milkshake? Yes, I do. I believe there's droves and droves of them. Do I believe that it is my job to wake them up? No, it is not. Do I believe that there's plenty of information out there for anybody to go seek it if they want it? Yes. Do I believe that a lot of people don't want to take the red pill and they want to keep drinking the blue pill milkshake? Yes. Do I believe that no matter what you say and what you do, people will create this fictitious imagery that only one person, meaning Donald Trump and the Republican Party, are the boogeyman, booga, 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 and that the Democratic Party is here to save you? Well, you can't have one without the other. Protagonist and antagonist, right? And I just want to know when we are finally going to be like, all right, this is enough. This is just lame. We're not accomplishing anything. This is just the bantering and the arguing back and forth between, parties. It's just kind of dumb, deaf, blind, low vibrating, and we're not solving any problems. You know what I mean? I say it like this. When you start talking to just different groups in dominant society, I always lead with this. Why is it okay for my taxpayer dollars to go to immigrants who didn't build this country for free, but my own people can't get any type of a repayment? But when it comes to immigrants, y'all all for it. When it comes to a war, you'll sign us up and spend damn near half the goddamn GDP on a war. But when it comes to repaying people for labor for free, it's always an issue. And I've never understood that. That's why it's always going to be a why. Why is it that we are that dumb sometimes that we would sit up there and watch this DNC bullshit or Republican bullshit? Why do we watch this and not say to ourselves like, wow, this is beyond entertainment. Damn, they really, really think low of us as the American people. We are the fickle crowd. We are the commoner. They really think low of us. Why, Warren? Just like Donald Trump, who was a Democrat, now he's a Republican. Steve Harvey, you was smiling with Donald Trump 4-5 years ago when y'all went to the White House, and then you tried to nigga-splain your way out of it, but then you could sit up and tell black folk we shouldn't be asking for anything specifically for black folk. As if Kamala Harris's people did not reach out to you and say, you're going to say these things. You sound like a low-vibrating dumbass. That's what you sound like. Like you sound like one of these old school black folk that just believe so blindly in the Democratic Party, they will stop at nothing. Because the Democratic Party has done their job of making the Republican Party the boogeyman, the bad guy. But really, it's both guys that are bad. Because if they're not doing anything specifically for black folk, then what do you even have them around for? That's always my thing. Well, why would you have them around? And how could it help you? See, that's always what you want to look at, in my personal opinion, in my books, in my reading. Why is it we have not read Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson? Why haven't we read Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson? Why is it we keep having these same conversations with everyone around us, but nobody wants to delve into like, hey, well, why is this happening? Or why is that happening? You know, why is it we don't question? We should question both parties. Why is it? No wonder Ice Cube is like, I'm not doing no black contract on white on Black America. I'm not doing no contract on Black America. I don't even blame Cube. Why? I remember the last time he said you had Lisa Ray and all these dumb motherfuckers that ain't read a goddamn thing, but they're just an actor and a figurehead, thinking that wow, you need a contract. It's like you can't win for losing. So this is what I think we should do. I think what we should start doing is watching this stuff and reading and comparing notes. Basically, like, go read Powernomics, and then after you read it, then go back and be like, okay, well, yeah, I'll vote, but then how come we can't vote our interest, but every other racial group votes their interest? I'm gonna ask another question why to the family. Why is it you don't never see the Chinamen argue amongst each other about who they're voting for? How come you don't never see your local Latino brother and sister argue about who they're gonna vote for? I'm talking about the Chicanos. I'm talking about the Latinos. I'm talking about the ones that are rooted and grounded in where they come from and all that stuff. You don't never see them arguing and fighting, but you see their little stands everywhere selling ice cream and popsicles and all that. You always see that, or you see them slinging meat. But you don't never see them in a political line arguing with each other about it. Ever. When's the last time you saw the dominant white society argue? I'm talking about really argue. No, it's all performative. Because when you go to these different cities and you see how it's broken down, you're going to see Chinatown, you're going to see the Vietnamese, the Japanese, the China, and they going to all have their little shops. They going to all recycle their dollars, just like Dr. Claude Anderson said, right? Then you're going to go to the Latino community, which I did. I drove through these communities before. James Youngblood, Dave, they know that shit. Tosh and them, they know that shit. Look, there ain't nothing you can tell me about Las Vegas, Nevada. I got too many family members that live out there. They can tell you, they see this shit all day. They see it at the jobs. I told you about that time when we would go to my mom's house every Saturday and Sunday, and what you think we would talk about? What do you think we would talk about? Immigrants, racism, white supremacy. They getting all the jobs. I said, it's so funny how we live in the United States of America, but they'll give you a prerequisite that you got to speak a whole other language to cater to other people that didn't build anything in this country. No diss to anybody else, and no shade, but I can't go to, let's just take Central America, Costa Rica. I can't go to Costa Rica and be like, okay, the national language, y'all need to be saying basically that, you know, prerequisite, you must speak English. They'd be like, no, that's not how it works. I can't just go to another country and be like, okay, y'all need to establish different rules now because, like, a lot of us are going to be coming here. It just doesn't work that way. Even in states, it doesn't work that way. I wish it did. There's states I've been to where I'm like, ooh, they need to do this, but they're not going to do it because their state is governed by their governor, who's the president of their state. So why isn't it at the United States of America Incorporated? I feel like they want the American people to conform to immigrants and placate to the immigrants and make them feel like they're worthy. I'm sorry. That's just not what I agree with. Why, Warren? How could you listen to my people in Chicago and then when they discuss about the homeless crisis with black Americans, and then you hear from another Chicagoan who's like, yeah, they giving these immigrants $13,000 worth of food stamps. I tried to get food stamps and they told me I made too much money because I was working 2 jobs at the time. And I was like, I don't make too much money. I could barely afford to buy groceries. Just like 2011, 2012. Sure did. That lady was like, you can't submit this. That's county fraud. You make way too much money. I can't get any hold of the resources, but you can give it all to immigrants. Now, what kind of shit is that? And then turn around and be like, well, we can't give reparations, because then we got to look at everybody else. Well, everybody else didn't build this country. So that's why I'm finding a lot of things interesting. And with all this political jargon with Kamala and her vice president and Donald Trump and his vice president, what are they going to do specifically for black folk? I'm going to just keep asking the question. What is the plan to do things specifically for black folk? Well, we already know Kamala Harris said, I'm not going to do nothing just specifically for black folk. No. So we know in California, she didn't do a really good job of helping the black community. She locked a lot of niggas up, but she didn't do anything to help it. So that's why I'm just kind of like, and I'm trying not to lie because I just think this is hilarious that this would be taking place in front of human beings. But a lot of human beings are automatons, or a lot of human beings are asleep, and they have drank the blue pill milkshake, and now they going to bed. And they want to just wake up and keep taking the blue pill smoothie, the blue pill milkshake. They just want to keep doing it. You know why? Because it's easier. Because once you start questioning, you have to research it. But before you do any research, and send this to anybody y'all know, please read Black Labor, White Wealth and Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. If you don't read any other book in life, read those books. And I'm going to repeat the same thing I've been telling y'all. If you have a conversation with someone that's foundational Black American and they don't know who Dr. Claude Anderson is and they haven't read those books, just be quiet and don't even talk to them anymore. Just keep it moving. You're going to be like, no, I want, keep it moving. You're going to have more of a headache dealing with them because they don't have an iota of what it is to vote your interest. They have you would know that. I know I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I read Black Labor, White Wealth and then read Powernomics. And I was like, oh, okay, that shit makes sense. This is how you're supposed to vote. Okay, you're supposed to vote your interest, not who you like. Okay, this is business, not personal. So you can't be in there, oh my God, I like this politician. You got to be like, what are you doing for me? You have to be like Shaka Khan. What you gonna do for May when the chips are down? And the chips are down 6.2% interest rate for mortgages. The chips are definitely down. So since they're down, I want to see what you're gonna do for May and my people. And if you don't plan on doing anything specifically for me and my people, why do I even need to sit at any table with anybody? Remember that. But if they have not read Black Labor, White Wealth and Powernomics, they would have no idea of what you're talking about. And most people, they don't want to go seek out the information because once you have been awakened, you can't go back to sleep. I'm done. Guilty, nigga. Peace.